You know, I have a whole new respect for Matt. I don't know why. It's probably just because he follows protocol and he wears the right facial protection whenever he's doing welding. But, you know, there's something about his presentation right now that that it just looks right. Just looks right. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. Safety first. That's right. Okay, so we've hopped up top now. These are the Go Power panels, 190 watt panels. And this is the panel that was installed on the RV when it was manufactured. You can see the 3 AC units up here. I'm actually up here to do something a little bit different. And I want to install this really nifty MaxxAir vent fan cover on this vent right here. Okay, so the factory vent up top is actually a MaxxAir vent, and my friends over at etrailer provided me, yep, with the new MaxxAir covers here, and these just simply slide down on top of these little clips here on the side, and then I just throw in the little pins right here, which are in my pocket. That's it. Okay, and then you just simply grab your 4 pins, and your pins are just going to slide in right here and hold it in place. Pretty cool, huh? This makes the process a lot easier. Now the challenge I have is that I have 2 more vents, and neither of those vents actually use the pins. Just got to get on the other side here. I think I'm just going to lean over the actual vent cover to do these. Okay, so I have the clips in place, and then they just tuck up and kind of snap into a little groove on top. Next, I just have to put this little vent cover on the back, and it simply notches into these little holes on the side and then locks up in place. Do not put your vent cover on backwards. That is something that is common sense, but depending on how your RV is parked, you may not realize that you're doing it. So just as a word of caution, only because they kind of went over a story with me a second ago, which was hilarious, but do not put this on backwards. It does not work very well that way, and you'll probably end up where you're going without your vent covers anymore. So yeah, I'm just gonna pop this in place and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, there we go. So we have the cover on the outside right there. Have all of our clips on. It's not going anywhere. Now, for the other 2 units up here, these would require some brackets be mounted. So the brackets would come off of the side and be attached to the actual outer lip of the vent, and these would attach in a very similar way once we get those clips on. So I am not going to get in their way right now because these guys are working on solar panels right on the edge. Never fun, but it's got to be done, right, when you're doing solar. That's right. Okay, so I am doing the other 2 vent covers now, and instead of using the hardware they're using with the nuts and bolts, I am fastening the brackets directly to the lip of the vent themselves using self-tapping screws. And again, this is shear force, so I don't think we'll have any issue with them ever backing out, but there's going to be 8 of them holding them in since there's 4 brackets and there's 2 screws on each bracket. So I'm using these 3/4 inch long stainless steel self-tapping screws to hold it in place, and then we'll put this side on, and these should mount just like the one up front did with the pins that were already set in place for it. Okay, so I have both of the brackets mounted on one side, and this just sets right in there, and I'll put my pins in, which are very simple. Just going to pop the pin through here, through the other side, then lock it up in place. I'm going to do that on both the front and the back, and then I will move on to getting the brackets mounted for the other side. Once these pins are in place, I can simply tilt this cover over and get to the other side very, very easily. There we go, and now I just have to kind of rock this over like that, and I can mount the other 2 on this side. And I'm just using a little Sharpie, so I am putting the brackets in right here, closing it, holding it in place, and then putting a little dot here on the end so I know where to position the bracket so I can drill my holes. Okay, so there we go. Got the vent cover on, got all 4 pins in place, fits perfectly. Now, before you take on this project, you may want to make sure that your vent hood in here isn't too high up, because I had to actually get someone to run down there, drop it down a couple inches so this would fit. But now it's all working out really well. Just have one more to do up here. Very cool project going on, kind of filming multiple things at once. Here's the original solar panel. Here are the Go Power panels. We're gonna put a vent on that real quick, and then we will be done, at least with this portion, and I'll be heading back down. So we have all 3 vent covers on. These are the MaxxAir vent covers, and these are designed for either adding on to your existing vent, regardless of the brand, or tying into that first vent we did that actually has the brackets already in place. So all you do is pop it on and put the pins in. So it's really designed for either application, which is really cool, because these vents aren't the same vents as the MaxxAir that I first installed it on. So it gives you the ability to really just go with one vent and cover any vent you might have. Anyways, guys, this was a really simple install. It only took me maybe 30 minutes to do all 3 of them. Definitely something that's kind of a do-it-yourself, as long as you don't have any problem getting on top of your 5th wheel or your travel trailer. We had 3 vents. Most RVs, I think, only have 2 generally. Some have 3, so if you have 2, it'll take much less time than this. Affordable product. They're about $100 each. These are kind of the middle of the road ones, made by MaxxAir. Same people who, again, make that main MaxxAir power vent that we have up front. Now you might be asking why I installed these covers over the vents, because they do close. Well, this offers a little bit of protection. First of all, if you want to keep it open and you still want airflow whenever it's raining, this is a really good way to provide that. And it also just adds an extra layer of protection in the event you leave one of these open accidentally. So they definitely come in handy. They look really nice, and versus like an exposed vent like that, it gives you that extra added peace of mind, again, in case you leave your vent open, or if it starts raining. Let's say you're not at your RV and you don't want water getting in it. Okay, so we have all the blinds closed. We are back inside of the RV, and we have all of the covers on now. So this is really nice. So basically, with all the covers on, if these were left open, let's say we went out and we were exploring the area that we were at, and you know, we wanted to leave the vents open because it's nice and fresh outside, and we wanted to let some of that cool air come in. If we left these open, then all of a sudden a rainstorm came through, it's very likely that water can get in. Now, this specific one actually has a rain sensor on it, so if it detects rain, it'll close on its own. But this one right here and the one in our bathroom up here, they don't have that same rain sensor. And you can just see how much darker it is with that cover in place. So if we left this open, then yeah, rain and water could actually start making its way in, and you could get water inside of your RV, which you don't want to do at all. So putting these covers on helps alleviate that from potentially happening. And again, it gives you a little bit more shade, so you don't have as much direct sunlight coming in. And really, it is just a great extra added peace of mind if you ever plan on leaving your vents open. So that is really cool. And again, this is a relatively affordable upgrade. I've seen these vents go for as little as like $35, or the covers, all the way up to well over $100. The specific ones that we have on here were provided by eTrailer, my channel sponsor, and they, I believe, sell them for $99 each. One of the reasons why is because the fact that they're designed to work with either your MaxxAir directly as a clip-on, or it has the hardware that comes with it to add it to vents that are a different brand, which is really nice. So it makes them almost universally compatible. But yeah, that was a very, very simple install to do. As long as you're not afraid of heights, you're not afraid of being on an RV. And what a lot of people tell me, after you get on your RV roof for the first time, the next day you're kind of sore. And the reason why is, if you're not used to balancing yourself on something high and you're kind of using muscles you don't normally use, that's really what creates that soreness. You wonder why the next day you feel a little bit weird. And oftentimes it's because you climbed on something, or you did something that you're not normally used to doing on a regular basis, and you're using different groups of muscles, and then those muscles are sore the next day. You know, go play golf for the first time, or if you haven't played in 6 months, go out and play again, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's different muscles. So when you get on the roof of your RV, you want to make sure that you're hydrated, you want to make sure that you understand how to get back down, and you want to make sure that you're comfortable working in an environment where you might be right on the edge. And oftentimes, if you have a slide out or an awning or something else that's near that vent, it can psychologically help you in terms of making you believe you're not going to fall straight to the ground if you did fall. So that psychological help can make you a little less nervous, and able to accomplish some of these tasks you might not otherwise feel comfortable doing. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel. I will put a link in the description of this video to the vent covers, and it will pretty much take you to all their vent covers. So if a $100 vent cover is not in your budget, they probably have one that is. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, again, please subscribe. We'll talk to you again very soon.